Coach, what do you think of this room of running backs that you got?
I love it. I love these guys. Very coachable. You know, that's what sticks out day one. These guys they want to be coached, number one, and they hold themselves to a high standard. You know, so as a coach, those are things that sometimes you have to teach. That just walking straight into guys who have that standard for themselves, it just speeds up the process, and now I can really coach them on, you know, the tangible things on the field and not, you know, the behavioral, you know, or mindset type things. And so that's been really encouraging for me in this short amount of time.
Coach, you came from an Oregon State program that took about as big a step forward as any in college football. It seemed to be growing. Why did you want to get the name?
I just think just a great opportunity to come down and have a new challenge. I've always respected, you know, what Coach Aranda's done here, and obviously my past experience with Coach Grimes, you know, and knowing what he stands for from an offensive standpoint. And so I knew it would be a really good fit. How you do anything is how you do everything is been my motto, you know, my personal motto as a coach with my players for years now. And so day one when I walk in and I see a big, you know, PowerPoint that says that from Coach Aranda, it was confirmation that this is a great opportunity and a seamless fit, you know, from a cultural standpoint and just a personal philosophy. And so I think it was a great, you know, it was a no-brainer opportunity for me in this next step, and just having the comfort of knowing the guys that are going to be in the building and believing already in what they stood for was a huge part of it.
Do you feel like each of the guys in the running back room bring a little something different?
Absolutely. That was a really encouraging thing as well, you know, multifaceted skill sets, you know, in a room. And so obviously we're always going to try to develop everybody to be an every down type guy, you know, but when you have different, you know, body types, different speeds, you know, guys with different speeds, different strengths, it's always really, you know, encouraging. And so you can have natural roles built for guys and things like that. And while you're in the process of developing the areas in their game that they need to clean up.
Well, you have a room that already included Quaylen and Richard, who both had really good seasons on the field. And you have Dom, who was a leading rusher at Oklahoma State. How much of it is the excitement of, I can't wait to work with all these guys, and how much of it is, well, I don't know how I'm going to get all these guys on the field?
It's definitely an excitement. I think if you look at, you know, just the previous years of the groups that I've had, there's been multiple guys with their opportunities to have success and have a legitimate role in our success. We've had guys who have been all conference running backs, but then other guys combined for 1,000 yards and, you know, have multiple touchdowns and game-winning plays and things like that. And so, to me, the star of the running back room is the running back room. That's always what I believed in, and you know, we play a physical position, you know. So I've never gone through a full season where all of my guys in the room stay healthy. We never had any glitches or anything, and so that's the mindset. Everybody has to have a mindset of a starter. Everybody's got to be prepared for their moment, and that's how I coach. We're not really big on the depth charts and things like that. Our sixth guy in our room right now, out of 6, needs to be strong enough for us to rely on him if we need be in a real game.
What's your approach as far as familiarizing yourself with a new group and a new roster? Are you somebody that starts watching film on the guys? Do you want a blank slate? How do you look at that?
I think a little bit of both. I don't. You never know exactly how they've been coached or what their developmental process is, and so you want to give everybody a clean slate. But you also want to kind of look and see what their current strengths and their weaknesses are, so you have a plan for them moving forward. You know, so that you don't waste 5 practices trying to figure out what this guy's good at, or you know what we really need to hone in on. And so I think it's a little bit of both. Not judging them completely on the past. You know, guys who you know, didn't have a lot of success, or guys that had a lot of success, you know, and assuming that they're going to just fall into that same role. You want to give everybody a chance that haven't played a ton to have an opportunity to work their way up, but also create a sense of urgency in the guys who have had success on the field as well.
Coach, from what you've seen, are you expecting like a running back by committee or a feature back that kind of leads the team out there?
I think it's really too early to know that. How I tell the guys is we're going to play the most talented, reliable players. And so if we have 6 talented, reliable players, then we probably can try to find a way to do that. I've never been around, you know, a team with that, but that's going to be the goal. You know, and if there's 2 guys or 3 guys or 4 guys, we'll make it work. But once again, the starter running back group is the running back group. You know, and so whether there is a depth chart or not, at some point, we still need that last guy to work his way up because we're going to be counting on him.
How excited are you to be working with a guy like start of his career?
I think what makes him special is if you just met him on the street, you wouldn't know he was the Big 12 freshman of the year, rushed for 1,000 yards. His work ethic, his humility is unreal, and so it's really encouraging. Working with him, it seems like I'm working with a guy who's still trying to prove themselves. And I'm really excited about his future because of that. He's reliable as far as just what he brings, and so I'm just excited to see where we can help him get to. It's still early enough. He's got a high ceiling, and so our job is going to be to try to get him all the way all the way to the top and maximize his ceiling.
Coming from a smaller school, how much does it help Bryson being here this spring and going through that just to kind of get that transition going?
I think it's tremendous for him. We joked around the first practice. I'm like, hey, why are you standing like that? He's like, Coach, I've only been in a three-point stance, in my career. And I had to remember that. And so, it was kind of funny, but, it even had to make me kind of go back to build it literally from the ground up with him. And so it's been really good, kind of weed out some of those habits and, teach him some of the baseline principles now so that when we get to fall camp, now he's on an even playing field, and hopefully by the end of spring he'll be then. But, it's a marathon approach with a guy like that coming from, that situation. But the intangibles that he brings coming from the background are incredible, and you can feel that now, just his work ethic, his toughness, his coachability, so it's definitely a positive having him here early, and also just how he was raised and where he's coming from. You can tell that he's been around good people that have held him to a high standard.
You talked about Richard's work ethic. How have you seen him grow? We've all noticed a difference in how big he is this spring versus last fall. What's that difference been like since the moment you walked on campus for the first time to now?
So I've had a subliminal deal with him. I call him Big Rich now. That's his nickname. Even before he started putting on the weight and the muscle, I said, hey, I'm just going to call you Big Rich from now on, and I'm going to speak it into existence. And so obviously that was a big deal with him, adding weight, getting stronger, and putting a little more work in the weight room, having a full off season now. And so he's really stepped into it, and any sheet I give him is Big Rich. It's not Richard Reese anymore. That's his nickname. He's the only one that has a nickname right now, but we were speaking into existence, and I don't think he'll ever be 225 pounds and 6'3", but hopefully we can get him playing like that, on top of his skill set. And so that's what we're doing with him right now, and it's good that you guys can see it because it's been very intentional this offseason.
Coach, if you wouldn't mind on Dom and Quaylen, because they were just both in here, but Quaylen, a great pass blocker last year, run hard, and really seemed to hit a stride towards the end, and Dom obviously with all the experience coming in. How do those guys help fill holes, and how do they fit that room, so to speak? I think they definitely have. I always tell these guys, your difference is what gives you value, and so we want to definitely carve out, hey, Coach, if you're talking the best pass blockers in our room, I want to be number one on a pass blocking depth chart, or I want to be the number one on a route running depth chart, and not just like an overall umbrella term of a depth chart. And so it's really good that those guys have their unique skill sets, that separate them in different ways. And so what we're trying to do right now is just clean up their games in those other areas where they may be, second or third on the depth chart, or fifth or sixth in certain specific areas of playing the running back position. And so that's really the challenge right now. I'm not big on, hey, you're really good at that, so that's just what you do. You're just a one-trick pony, and so we're, just in the process of developing guys, and so that this year you're not just the pass blocker, or you're not just the first down guy or the screen guy. We want to for sure be even a better screen guy or a better pass blocker, but let's not be just a one-trick pony. And so that's really what the spring and this whole offseason leading up to the season will be for both of those guys, and really the whole room.
You had it with Jeff. How much do you like that wide zone? Is that in your comfort zone?
Wide zone is, I wake up, one of the first things I think about, my wife, God, and wide zone. wide zone is, it's something, and it's not outside zone. That's something Coach Grimes and we made a decision a long time ago. It's wide zone, and that's a story for another day. But really passionate about it. I've probably done 700 coaches clinics on it, talking on the topic. Watched ungodly hours of film on wide zone, and so I'm all in with it, and so that was another reason, just going into a system that I just truly believed in and have a lot of experience with and have had success with, and so yeah, it means a lot to me, and I believe in it for sure.
What's that order?
Sorry. God for sure, number one.
Better put wife up there.
Oh yeah, wife's above Y zone, but some days it's close. You know.
Can
But-
she tell when you're in your wide zone mentality?
No, she can't tell. She can't tell, for sure.
Coach, your impressions of Dave Miranda, just getting, I mean, I don't know how much you may have known him before, but just that relationship building and your impressions of him.
Incredible leader, very consistent. I think leadership, that's the biggest thing is just whenever they show up, you know what to expect. You know what the standard is, clearly defined standards. That's who he is. Does a great job, very well mapped out. Everybody's on the same page. We're very well organized around here, and I think that's the first step when the players feel that. It always starts from the top. The vision is a trickle down effect. And if we understand it, then the players will understand it. And I think he just does a great job of not only creating the standard, but like showing us what the standard should look like and allowing us to go out and push it, with the players and doubling down on it daily. And so I'm really excited to learn a lot, from Coach Aranda, and I have already in a short amount of time, and heard great things about him even before I got here, and it's just been confirmed, in just this couple of months that I've been here so far.
I can't remember the last time I saw a football coach walking in high tops. Do you think of yourself as a pretty active position coach?
Well, they help my Achilles a lot. That's why I wear them, for sure. I try to stay in shape. Don't look at pictures from 12 years ago when I first got into coaching, but I try to stay active. I want to look good for my wife. I don't really have too much other reasons to look good or to work out for anyway, but that's the reason I'm hanging on to right now. So I try to stay active. I try to run around on the field and let the players, I try to hold them to a high standard. And so I'm not as good as I once was, so to speak, but I think the players respect, when I hold them to, hey, let's run from drill to drill. When I can do that with them, and and not just do as I say, but do as I'm doing with you. I think they respond well to that. So I'll try to stick in there as long as I can. It's getting harder and harder every year though.
Seems like whether it's sunny and 80 or even cloudy and 55, you rock the shades too. Is that for a little bit of swagger on it?
Well, it's not necessarily about swagger. I honestly started when I went to Oregon State, and it's kind of looks like how it did today every single day. And so I just used to joke around with the players, like every day is sunny and 80 degrees for me. I'm gonna wear sun, because it was a mindset thing for me. And then I started wearing it. I wore it at night, like one game where it started daylight and then it got nighttime. And we were like winning at halftime. The coach, you better keep those sunglasses on. And so then I try to put them away for night games, and they're like, no, you wear sunglasses. And so it was kind of multiple reasons why I do it. But it's become a thing now, and I can't shake it. I haven't been able to yet.